Hello there, Hidden Hermit. How are you doing? As you can see, everything looks really green. I have a very interesting piece of fluorite here. Look at that, isn't it weird? Yeah, that's crazy. I've also got some snowflake obsidian and a piece of smoky quartz. So if you put two and two together, green, those ones, you'll understand that today we're talking about Capricorn. Although you probably read the title to this video, so you already know that anyway. So anyway, here's Capricorn. Capricorn means sea goat. Now, if you don't know what a sea goat looks like, here is an artist's representation of what a sea goat may or may not look like. I rather like that. It's very cute. So Capricorn, lots to be said about Capricorn, along with Scorpio. In my opinion, I think Capricorn is one of the most confusing and misunderstood signs of the zodiac. It's the 10th sign of the zodiac, the cardinal earth sign. And yeah, very misunderstood, very confused by many other people. And to be perfectly honest, the language of tarot doesn't really help. But we'll obviously get on to that. As I said, Capricorn means sea goat. Here is another Capricorn card with a goat and the constellation of Capricorn on there. Now, the constellation of Capricorn, sadly, is rather unremarkable. It's a very dark part of the sky. It's got hardly any redeeming features. It's quite a small constellation as well. It's overshadowed by Aquarius that kind of overhangs it a little bit. In mythology, before that, going back to the ancient astrological traditions, so the Persians, the Chaldeans, the Akkadians, they all attributed this sign to some sort of goat or an ibex. Ibex comes up quite a lot in a lot of the Egyptian folklore, if you like, folklore mythology, if you like. So yes, frequently identified with a goat or an ibex in most early cultures, and yeah, so Capricorn, it holds a position in the sky which marks the zenith of the sun, or at least it did 3,000 years ago, which is where we get the Tropic of Capricorn from. I am in the northern hemisphere, so it marks the lowest point in the sky for me. If you're in the southern hemisphere, it will be the highest. If you're on the Tropic of Capricorn, then it will be one of the highest points. So that's why it's quite significant. It's also the first sign of winter. So it does coincide with the winter equinox, which is roughly the 21st of December, which is when Capricorn starts, 21st of December to the 19th of January, depending on what year you're in. That's the tropical dates. The sidereal dates, 14th of January to the 12th of February. So yeah, like I say, a very unremarkable, boring constellation, which is one of the many reasons why people understand the sign, if you ask me. Some of the other historical elements of the sign. One of the things I did unearth, which is very interesting, the second mythical king of Rome, Numa Pompilius. Whether or not he was real or not is up for debate, but he decided that the year should start halfway through Capricorn, which roughly equates to about the 2nd or 3rd of January, which is incredibly interesting because he was way ahead of his time, because in Britain and her colonies, which included the Americas at the time, the first day of the new year was actually March the 25th, roughly coinciding with the vernal equinox. Which is kind of fascinating. So that's why in the Julian calendar, January was given the first month of the year, if you like. January, going with the god Janus of new beginnings, but we're not talking about here. We're talking about Capricorn. And here we have a very goat-like visage on this Capricorn card. I kind of like it. For you practitioners of the left-hand path, the constellation of Capricorn has also been attributed to Azazel, the demon Azazel, who is currently in vogue with you left-hand pathers. And Azazel was the scapegoat of Leviticus. He was the demon that the Bible writers, if you like, in Leviticus suggested that you should cast off because he was bad news. And yeah, clearly, we'll move on to the demonic aspects of Capricorn, or the supposed demonic aspects of Capricorn, in just a moment. So yeah, the only other thing that I unearthed, Capricorn, the area of sky where the constellation of Capricorn is, it was also called the Gate of the Gods. Which is where people's souls were supposed to ascend. They descended through Capricorn, through Cancer, excuse me, and they ascend through Capricorn. And indeed, the opposite sign to Capricorn is Cancer, which obviously comes up with a lot of questions, if you like. So, in the language of tarot, Capricorn is personified by the devil, which adds to the confusion, which is why I say that tarot doesn't particularly help. Now, I am going to probably talk far too much about the devil, because it's just like Capricorn itself. I think the devil card is probably one of the most mistreated and confused cards in the whole of the tarot. And I've got to try and keep this video to its allotted time space, because I really could talk about the devil in a lot of detail. We'll swim back to that dude in a moment. Capricorn is ruled by the planet Saturn, which again, Saturn is also one of the most confused and misunderstood planets in traditional astrology and indeed contemporary astrology. So I'm going to touch upon some of these things, hopefully, and try and illuminate us all. I doubt that's going to happen, though. Saturn in the tarot is personified by the world. Again, another card that's very misunderstood, and a lot of people are confused by the attribution to the planet Saturn with the world card. A lot of people suggest that the world is generally a good thing, but it does have other facets, and there's reasons why it's a good thing as well. But hopefully, I will try and educate us all, or educate myself first, perhaps. I don't know. As I've already said, Capricorn is the cardinal earth sign. Cardinal meaning it's the first of the triplicity in the earth signs. Taurus being the fixed sign, Virgo being the mutable sign. But yes, you can't get much earthier than Capricorn, I believe. Well, I suppose Taurus with its fixed element is also incredibly earthy, but yes, it does personify the earth element in a very profound way, I believe. The earth sign in tarot is, of course, attributed to the suit of pentacles, and I do love the Rider-Waite ace cards. They always have this disembodied hand with a coin. I should have done that. I should have got a coin. Here you go. Here's a coin. There you go. Live action Ace of Pentacles. Very, very earthy. Also, Capricorn. Here's my visual aid here. Capricorn sits at the 10th house, right next to the midheaven. So the 10th house, and interestingly, in the Black Moon Oracle cards here, the 10th house is called the World, which is interesting. A nice little a nice little correspondence there already. So yeah, the 10th house for modern astrologers, it kind of is the house of kings, commanders, people in authority, chiefs. It's also of mothers, which is interesting, quite probably because its opposite house, Cancer, denotes fathers. And yes, we're getting into the last season here. There are only 3 more signs left in the zodiac, and Capricorn's right at the top here, right where he or she feels they should be. Ruled by Saturn, as I have previously mentioned, and the first of the 3 winter signs, as it were. Right at the top there, sharing top billing with Sagittarius, but yeah, right next to the midheaven. The 10th house is also got a lot to do with career, with your working purpose, if you like. It's about your reputation, about your fame, about how you like others to perceive you, whether or not that's the station that you. No, I'm lying. Actually, it's totally the station that you are destined to being, that what you should be aiming for, the 10th house. But yeah, very career minded, very career and status minded, and a little bit of fame as well. So you know, it's how you want to be remembered, the legacy you leave behind, which kind of ties into the Saturnian elements as well. And I have a feeling I'm going to be saying the word Saturnian quite a lot. You can almost see my face in the reflection of that card. Good for you, you can't. Okay, let's move on. So let's go back to Capricorn. Capricorn and the devil. Where is this devil card? Now, why is the devil so misunderstood in tarot? I think largely because of the image that you see before you. This is, of course, the devil from the Waite-Smith deck. And this is the image of Baphomet. Now, Baphomet's really just one of the facets of the devilish kind of attribute, if you like. The devil is, of course, a Christian construct. Satan is definitely mentioned in the Bible, Satan the deceiver. Lucifer is also mentioned in the Bible, and they're all very, very different entities. They kind of sit on the same side of they're on the same bench, as it were, but they are different entities. And this is Baphomet. Baphomet was constructed, if you like, by Levi, Eliphas Levi in the 18th century, and it's an amalgamation of parts. As you can see, you've got the goat attributes, and this goes back to the story of Pan, the Greek god Pan, who is, again, he was a wood elemental. He hung around with the river nymphs, and he liked to play music, and he liked to hang out with Dionysus, drink a lot of wine. And very earthy, he was very much based on the planet Earth, if you like. Now, he curried favor with the Greek gods when the elder gods, the Titans, if you want, they went to war with them, and Pan caused panic, get it, by throwing fruit at the Titans. So Zeus kind of appreciated that. And also when the devastating monster Typhon attacked, Pan turned his bottom half into a fish and swam away down the river Nile, as it says. There you go. So that's the sea goat thing. But also the actual attribute of a goat. I mean, we're looking at Baphomet's feet here. They're kind of claw-like, but his legs are very goat-like as well. And a lot of people associate Capricorn with the idea of a mountain goat who can scale crazy heights to get to where he wants to. And that's going to be very, very important when we talk about the attributes of Capricorn. But yeah, we're talking about this devil card here, and it's misleading, I feel, which, I don't know, is that ironic, or is that the opposite of ironic? I don't know. But yeah, so Capricorn, here we go. We've got this sort of dual image here. You're getting the idea of the goat image, if you like, and I'm a big fan of goats. I think they are awesome. So let's talk about Capricorn. If you're a Capricorn, if your sun is in Capricorn, or you have Capricorn as your rising sign, and even there's an element of if your moon is in Capricorn, but less so, because in traditional astrology the moon is in its detriment in Capricorn, which is generally not a good thing, but hey, never mind. But if you do identify with Capricorn sun, rising, or moon, some of the following attributes may feel familiar to you. Capricorns are productive, responsible, competitive. They're generally mature, but let me come back to that. There's an interesting facet to the maturity of a Capricorn, which I have noticed in personally. It doesn't actually mean a great deal, really, but there's something I've noticed about Capricorns. They're industrious. They're good strategists. They're pragmatic. They can be very considerate. They're brave. And not so much brave in a courageous sense, like, say, Leo, but they're brave. They can weather their storms. They can take a lot of heat. They can take a lot of damage as well, and they can just pile on through like a goat. They're calm externally calm. They have an air of control about them. They're cool, reserved, dignified, authoritative, which is, that cardinal sign there. They're the first of the earth signs to get things moving, if you like. They have that will to act. And that they seek purpose. A Capricorn without purpose is, well, it's messy, if you ask me. And some of the negative attributes. Now, a lot of people do actually throw a lot of negative attributes at Capricorn, which I think is a little unfair. And the fact that they're seen as status conscious or money minded, a lot of people say that's quite disparaging, but I disagree. It's all about balance, really, isn't it? There's nothing wrong with seeking status or having that financial security. It's just when it gets taken too far, which, is the influence of the devil, I suppose. But yeah, Capricorns, if I was to personally pick out their most negative attributes, I would say that Capricorns find it difficult to relax. They're frustrated by slow progress, especially within themselves. They can be self-critical. A little bit of a Virgo energy coming into that. However, because of their calm exterior, because of their need to maintain that appearance, this self-criticism gets kind of internalized. They don't tell anybody about it. Emotional issues for them can be quite threatening, and they prefer to sort of suffer in silence. They're prone to denial, which is it's kind of unhealthy, really. So that emotional reserve, which can be seen as quite positive, can also be quite detrimental to themselves. My hand is starting to ache holding up this rather attractive Capricorn card. Let's hold up that one instead. So the buzzwords here, Capricorn, they are seen to be people who use other people, which again I think is a little bit unfair. They use the environment around them to maintain that status, to get to where they're going, and they do have aims in mind. They do have that strategy to get to the top, but they can be quite patient about it as well. Unlike, say, Aries, or maybe even like Gemini, perhaps, or Libra. They want that status, but they're willing to sacrifice time in which to get it. So I don't know if you can identify with those Capricorns, but a lot of the positive attributes of Capricorn, a lot of people would say they're negative, which I actually disagree with. It's all about balance, isn't it? It's all about balance. I'm going to get rid of this Capricorn card. So yeah, swinging back to the Devil, and let me show you a few other Devil cards here. Here's the Night Sun card, and again it's an image of Baphomet, rather explicit image as well. Which is great, which is excellent. Now the devil can mean a hell of a lot of things for a hell of a lot of people. In the Waite Smith image, it's kind of a mirroring of the lovers as well. You've got the two people that have got their animal elements coming through. So they got horns coming out. There's a pomegranate on the end of the tail of the female there. The tail of the male is on fire, which may or may not have been put on fire by Baphomet himself. You have the bat wings. You've got the inverted pentagram, and the pentagram right side up is a kind of symbolizing the spirit above everything else. Inverted, it puts matter above everything else. And indeed, in the Golden Dawn attributions of the Devil card, here is the top deck. The Devil is called the Lords of the Gates of Matter. So we're really dealing with material things. Now, the further you look away about the top deck, you kind of get a sense of where Crowley and Lady Frida Harris were going with it. It's a very masculine card, very masculine. If you can't see it, I'm not going to point it out to you. Not really, although I'll give you some clues. What I do, there's like all top deck cards, there's a ton of symbolism just chucked in here, and I do like you got the rings of Saturn at the top there, just reminding us that Capricorn is attributed to the planetary energies of Saturn. You have this mountain goat here with a third eye, which I think is very, very cool. And these, which can't be anything other than testicles. You got one side female, one side male. You got this dynamic male entity that's rising to the top here as well, which I think is very, very interesting. It's a cracking card. It's a cracking Devil card, and and a lot of decks, the Devil card, like the Death card, they tend to be the coolest cards in the deck, if you ask me. So the Devil, what does he bring to the table? What does the Devil bring to the table? It's not all bad. It's not the personification of evil. I think that's where one of the biggest misinterpretations from a lot of tarot practitioners is suggesting that the Devil is the. I mean, to say that all Capricorns are evil is just. It's just wrong, really, if you ask me. But the Devil is here to remind us about the things that we're chained to. And these chains here are indeed quite loose around these people. Mirrored here in the Night Sun deck. These two people, which, interestingly, the masks they wear are the same mask that the Fool wears. So it's kind of warning us that you can get chained down to material things. You can get chained to things on the material plane that will if you don't temper yourself, if you don't go back to the temperance card, they will do you harm, you know. And you know, that could be in anything from drugs to alcohol, to the love of money. You know, money isn't the root of all evil, the love of money is, or so the Bible saying goes. So it's more of a warning. It's more of that awareness that these things can be harmful if you give them too much weight, if you like. If you spend too much time worrying about the status and the money, then you'll get into trouble. You will get into trouble. So yeah, and I've got to avoid talking too much about the Devil card, but he's going to come up a lot. I'm just going to remind you of the top deck one there. It's awesome. Just a very quick reminder of the big-breasted, large phallus Baphomet here on the Night Sun card. It is a cracking card. Now, I don't have a featured deck for Capricorn. I've just picked out a few marvellous cards, and I just wanted to show you this Devil card from the 78 Tarot Mythical deck. I love this card so much. Again, it does kind of latch onto the negative aspirations, I was going to say, the negative attributes to the Devil card. You've got this female Pan figure here again, or a fawn figure indeed. She's got the cloven hooves, if you like. She's got the horns. Now, the reason why I love this Devil card so much is because it kind of breaks a lot of taboos here. If we get a closer look at this woman, she's been self-harming. There are needles here, needles in the two sort of plushes, if you like, to mirror the male and female animalistic parts on the Waite Smith card. But yeah, I mean, and she's in a bad way. She's in a bad way. She's become a slave to all the bad things, all those things that are not very, very good for her, and she's become a slave to it. I just think it's just a really evocative image, and the 78 Tarot organization, if you like, have produced some cracking decks. This has been my favorite by far. It's a beautiful card, a beautiful image, but yeah, it does still latch onto the negative aspirations of the Devil. So Mr. Devil Man, what can we say about? We'll move on. Let's talk about Saturn. Here is an awesome Saturn card. With the rings resplendent, and if you're into astronomy in any way, I personally feel that Saturn's the most awesome planet to look at. It defies logic. When you look at it through a high-powered telescope, you see the rings, you see its billions of moons floating about it. It's just awesome. It's all inspiring. It just hanging there. I mean, Jupiter's great and everything, and you know, you can see Mars with a lot of clarity, but when you actually see Saturn for the first time with your own eyes through a lot of lenses, it's just incredible. It's absolutely breathtaking, and it's awesome. It is absolutely awesome. There's no other way to describe it, and that kind of stirs in you the Saturnian elements, if you like, of indeed the World card. So the other thing that I wanted to mention that I previously branched on, talk about the Saturn return. Now, the Saturn takes roughly 29 years to go around the Earth, to occupy the same position it was in, you know, that's why we call it the Saturn return, when it returns to the spot it went. So when you hit the ages of 27, 28 to 30, you experience your Saturn return, and it's the sort of first phase of maturity. Now, I've noticed with a lot of Capricorns that they don't really sit right with themselves until they hit that first Saturn return, until they get to that 29-year mark, if you like. They're kind of all over the place. Yes, a lot of people I've met that are Capricorns that have been below that age have been very studious, you know, they've been very good with their money, but they tend to be like to party a lot. Now, we could say, oh, that's got to do with the Devil, but I don't think it is. I just think that Capricorns, when they do something, they want to do it well, and they put a lot of effort into it. But I've had to clean up a lot of messes from Capricorns in the past, it has to be said, and they don't really enjoy who they are until they reach that first Saturn return, and then they kind of you know, that maturity kicks in, and I think Saturn return affects Capricorns more than it does any other sign. It affects us all in profound ways, no doubt about it, but I don't think Capricorns really understand what it means to be a Capricorn. If you got your sun or your rising specifically. I think moon's slightly different until you reach that first Saturn return. I am not experienced enough to give you an idea of a second Saturn return, which of course happens around the ages of about 58. But maybe I'll make another video in, well, I'm not going to tell you how many years time, but yeah. Anyway, moving on. So yeah, the world card again, it on face value, it doesn't really link into that Saturnian energy at first glance. A lot of people pull the world and they're like, yay, everything's honky-dory and everything's turned out really well. But you have to really think about the world card to really divine its meaning, I think. And we're looking at one card, we're looking at a single card, we're trying to interpret that. Now here's the Waite-Smith interpretation of the world, and there are a few things that I'd like to point out. First of all, you've got the four fixed signs represented here. So you've got Aquarius, Scorpio, Taurus, and Leo, and that's to encapsulate all the elements. All the elements. It's the fixed signs because the fixed signs are that the most solid part of the elements. So you've got earth, fire, water, and air. You've also got this interesting ring going around the woman who is the world, if you like. A lot of people attribute it to Gaia, if you like. Gaia being very, very earthy. Saturn is also it's a good excuse to show my my lovely obsidian point. Very earthy. Saturn is also attributed to the element of earth, and as is Gaia. But you have this ring around it, this ring sort of restricting it. The rings of Saturn are kind of a boundary, and Saturn is all about boundaries, restrictions, limitations, discipline, all those things. And you haven't got to this place of the world, this final completion, if you like, if you haven't demonstrated a little bit of, well, yeah, there's no other way to put it, discipline to get to where you are. You can't just get there in chance, on fire or emotion or logic. You have to apply a little bit of restriction to the way you conduct yourself to get to that sense of completion. Now, one thing I forgot to mention was I am burning some lovely hemp incense. One's gone, this one went out, so let me just relight that. Awesome. So yeah, the world card. Here's another world card, and this is the Night Sun. Again, lots of stuff going on here. You got the Saturn glyph, the sickle, if you like, up in the corner there. Again, very, very similar. You got Shiva from the Eastern tradition, if you like, and you've got a lot of Platonic solids going on. Again, epitomizing all the elements. You've also got the cups, the pentacles, the wands, and the swords there, just to remind us that the tarot does indeed cover all these things. Awesome, awesome card, obviously. Let's have a look at the top world card, which is called the Universe. And there's a couple of, again, a lot of crazy things going on here. You've got the fixed signs already right in front of you there. You have a serpent. The serpent is very, very important. You've also got this eye, which is very interesting. It's very similar to the eye on the Tower card. And the woman in the card, Gaia, possibly, is holding this sickle-like implement, which I believe represents Saturn, and it's kind of piercing that eye. And the eye is actually on the card twice. If I was to turn it on its side, you've got this. Well, I can see an eye. I don't know if you can. But again, the attributes are very much very Saturnian, very. You've still got this boundary. In fact, you've got all these boundaries going on here, reminding us of that need for discipline, as it were. I don't have a featured deck. I've picked out a few different cards. This is the Dreaming Way Tarot, the Dreaming Way World card. And this is a lovely image. You have this old dude who's asleep. He's having a nap in the outside world. He's experiencing the earth as it should be experienced, with lots of fresh air, a lot of leafy things, and he does have a very Saturnian vibe about him. He's at the end of his life. Saturn also it kind of reminds us of mortality and age and aging of time, of the passage of time. So you've got this old dude taking his nap. He's very, very content to be where he is. He's lived a good part of his life and he's enjoying himself, I believe. I just think this is a charming wee world card, which I think does a very good job of giving you the idea of the positive attributes of Saturn. Love it. So let's move on. Let's move on and talk about the 2, 3, and 4 of Pentacles, because Capricorn is the cardinal sign. It denotes the first 3, not including the Ace and the Page, of course. It denotes the first 3 cards of the suit of Pentacles. So first of all, we have the 2 of Pentacles. So the 2 of Pentacles is Jupiter in Capricorn. So if I was to get the Devil card, there's Capricorn. Jupiter is, of course, denoted by the Wheel of Fortune. So if you get that and you plus that, you get the 2 of Pentacles, which again is quite strange. Now, Jupiter in traditional astrology is actually at its fall in Capricorn. It's not happy. Now, and that's quite possibly because Jupiter is the other big planet. And Jupiter brings a lot of prosperity and expansion. And Capricorn's not about that. Capricorn is about you know, that in pragmatic sense, if you like. So it kind of, the Devil card, or the Capricorn card as I'm going to call it, kind of tempers that expansion, and you get the 2 of Pentacles as a result. And the 2 of Pentacles is the Lord of harmonious change. So there is a sense of harmony. These 2 rather expansive and restrictive energies come together, and you get this idea of balance and change. And the 2 of Pentacles is such a cool image. I'm always quite amused by the guy's hat. What is going on with that hat? How would it stay in your head in windy weather? I do not know. But yes, so you've got this guy. He's juggling these 2 pentacles to represent the material earth element, and you've got the omega, the infinity sign going on. Which I think is kind of cool. It could very well be seen as the number 8, but and you've seen the infinity sign before above the head of the woman in the Strength card to denote Leo, and of course above the head of the Magician. And yeah, the interesting thing about the 2 of Pentacles is all the 2s do donate some sort of choice. But the 2 of Pentacles, the choice may be quite a lot easier than, say, the 2 of Swords, for example. There's every idea that say if you've got 2 choices ahead of you, and the 2 of Pentacles comes up, it can kind of suggest that actually you can have it all. You can have both. Okay, that Capricorn energy may be, well, in fact, the Jupiter energy as well could actually be saying that you can juggle the 2 things together, and you'll be able to handle it quite well. You've also got those ships on the horizon, and I think that is a bit of a Jupiter element, Jupiter influence coming in to suggest that good things are coming to you. Good, the change that the change in the choices, the ups and downs that you're facing is going to be a good thing. It could also signify material partnerships as well. So if it comes up in a reading and you know, you're thinking about money, wealth, your health, your environment around you, then it may be suggesting that there is somebody else that's going to be a partnership with you, not somebody superior to you or beneath you, but a peer, if you like, that's going to give you a big hand in whatever endeavour that you're about to come across. Here is the Night Sun 2 of Pentacles. Again, it was very, very similar imagery. You've got Jupiter and Capricorn up there. You can see how knackered my Night Sun deck. Go into focus. No, whatever. Oh, yeah, there you go. It's getting knackered. It's getting all scratched up. But this guy, again, he's balanced on these 2 pentacles, and he's perfectly balanced as well. He's not tipping one way or the other. He's not falling ass over head, as it were. He's handling this juggling in a very, very competent way. It's almost as if he doesn't have to make that choice. The 2 of Wands, if you can cast your mind to the Waite-Smith image of the guy looking across the battlements with the world in his hand, he's got things to consider. Whereas the 2 of Pentacles, Jupiter and Capricorn, suggesting that actually you can potentially have it all. Potentially. If the card comes out reversed, it may be very much you need to think about how that juggling is going to work out, and maybe you do need to make a choice. So the reversed card is somewhat different. Here is the top deck. And this is a cracking card. I think one of the most recognizable as well. I kind of feel like you're viewing this snake, the Ouroboros snake, from above. And yeah, you've got that cycle of ups and downs going. It's a constant cycle. It's going on eternally. You have everything in balance, though. You've got fire and water up here, with the symbol for Jupiter next to it, and you've got earth and air down here with the symbol of Capricorn next to it. And it's kind of, again, suggesting that everything's very well balanced. Everything is. The Two of Pentacles is a great card when it comes out, I feel. The colours of Jupiter and Capricorn blended very nicely in there as well, which I think is very, very cool. Just want to bring out the Quantum Tarot here. This is the Two of Pentacles and the Quantum Tarot. Again, you've got that idea of balance going on, but these particles are spinning. The Two of Pentacles and the Quantum Tarot does kind of latch onto that idea that, that things could go either way sometimes as well. But as you can see, this guy's balancing them perfectly. So I think the attributes of the Two of Pentacles across most tarot decks is very, very similar, and that's a good thing. That's a jolly good thing, if you ask me. The Court card associated with the Two of Pentacles is the Queen of Pentacles. Heralds the beginning of winter. The Queen of Pentacles is, you know, she's how can I put this? She's the queen of the thrones of the earth, and she's all about comfort, security, wealth. She really does personify that Capricorn energy of being secure. And you know, she's on her throne here. She's cradling her earthy pentacle with quite a lot of affection, I would say. She is a water of earth, and she brings that. And she's also personifies that cardinal sign as well. You know, she's also quite kind. You know, she's intelligent and generous as well. Queen of Pentacles is a lovely person to have around, I believe. Moving on to the Three of Pentacles. The Three of Pentacles right here is Mars in Capricorn. Now, if the Tower and the Devil come out in a reading, most people would just run screaming. However, it is important to note that the Tower, here we are, the Tower, Mars, is at its exaltation in Capricorn. Mars is very, very happy in Capricorn. To be precise, it's 28 degrees Capricorn. So, you know, you're looking at between the 15th and the 20th of January, if you like. And Mars brings all the good Martian qualities to the Capricorn ideal. So you look at these two cards and you go, oh no, but Mars likes being in Capricorn, and you get the Three of Pentacles here, which is a cracking card to get. It's the card of good work. And indeed, in the top deck, it is called Works. It is the Lord of Material Works, if you like. So yeah, you're still tapping into that material energy, but it's a great card. Here's the Smith Waite here, the Waite Smith, excuse me. You have these two people admiring the work of this craftsman here. He's doing a really good job, and he's being recognized for it as well. And that's the important thing about the Three of Pentacles. It's you're getting that. You're getting the recognition for all the effort you've put into an endeavour. People have noticed what you're doing. People have noticed the good work that you're doing, or the good efforts you're putting into a situation. If it comes out reversed, you may very well need to just put a little more effort in, or you need to sort of blow your trumpet a little bit more so that people do actually notice what you're doing. I'm going to have to move on very, very quickly now. I'm running out of time. Here's the Night Sun, Three of Pentacles. Again, that's solid. This guy has handled his work quite well, I think. But the good things of Mars. Mars again is, you know, a lot of people look at Mars and go, oh no, it's too masculine and violent. But when you're directing that force in a very well dignified way, you get stuff done. You get stuff done in a good dignified way, if you like. The interesting thing about the Night Sun is that triangle in the middle there, which kind of apes the top deck, if you like. This is a pyramid as viewed from above, a very solid structure, a very it's an equilateral pyramid as well, so each side is equal. Very hard to knock down a pyramid when it's built well. That's that idea of good work being applied to something. Is personified in this rather awesome looking card. I have to crack on rather quickly now. I was going to show you the Santa Muerte Three of Pentacles, which is kind of a precursor to the Seven of Pentacles. He's putting the effort in and he's bearing the flowers, if you like. The Court card is another Queen of Pentacles. I just wanted to show you the top card because I think she's just so awesome. She is so awesome. Capricorn there, personified by that ibex or that mountain goat. Okay, finally, let's talk about the Four of Pentacles. And I don't know how long I've got before my video runs out. The Four of Pentacles is the Sun in Capricorn. So if you are a Capricorn sun sign, you may very well identify with the Four of Pentacles, which is not quite as dignified as the Three of Pentacles. The Four of Pentacles is considered to be a little bit miserly. Here is somebody who has acquired wealth, material gain, and is holding on to it in a little bit of a stringent way. So, you know, the Sun is all about abundance and good joy and cheer, but it gets kind of tempered by the Capricorn energies, and you're kind of getting that miserly, how can I put this, stingy, frugal, perhaps. You get that he's holding on to his wealth a little bit too hard. But I think the Four of Pentacles just needs to tell us to loosen up a little bit. Okay, you've got everything you want, and it's also the card of capitalism in a way. If you ask me, you've got this very you've got this sprawling metropolis behind this person, and he's quite kingly as well. He's wearing a crown. Not so much the King of Pentacles, if you ask me, but he's on his way there. But yeah, the Four of Pentacles is kind of reminding you that it's a little bit greedy. It's a little bit greedy, but well dignified. It could just signify things like materialism and security and possessions as well, in a good way. Of course, it can mean good things. But if you're an intuitive reader, when the Four of Pentacles comes up, then a lot of the times, I'm just going to flash this card. There's the Four of Pentacles from the Night Sun. Power is the message from the top deck. And again, with the previous two Pentacles cards, you're looking at a sort of a battlement as viewed from above. Again, it's very, very stable. It's very, very stable. It's surrounded by a moat, so you've got that idea of security, of protecting the things that you have acquired and earned. The Four of Pentacles comes out reversed. It may be telling you just to hold on to things. Things might be slipping from your grasp a little bit, and you need to be a little bit stingier. Not perhaps the best message ever. And interestingly, the Four of Pentacles in the top deck does look very similar because it's very, very structured. So I'm going to just mention that the King of Swords running into Aquarius is the Court card signifier of the Four of Pentacles. But I'm going to leave you with this extra card. This is from the After Tarot. And the After Tarot is a tarot deck that kind of describes what happens next. Now, this guy has held on to his possessions far too tightly, and the Grim Reaper's coming from him. And where is he? Where is he? He's got no solid emotional life behind him. He's held on to the material things far too much, and you know, at the end of his life, you're born with nothing, you die with nothing. So what was the point, Four of Pentacles, to holding on to your material things so hard? Right, I'm going to leave it at that because like I said right at the very beginning, Capricorn's got a lot of depth, and the whole purpose of these videos is to show you these cards, show you the astrological attributions of the tarot cards. And I think I've done that, but I haven't really, you know, the Devil and the World. They're cards that have got so much going on, and and it's really difficult to sort of cram it into. Well, 40 minutes really is I really do need to tap into that World card and restrict myself a little bit more, but too much depth to Capricorn, too much going on. In the meantime, I'm going to say goodbye. I'm the Hidden Hermit. Thank you very much for watching.